Hello there my friends, welcome back to the TheScottReaProject, and today it's part 3 in my pheasant trilogy. You may or may not have seen part 1 and 2. In part 1 I showed you how to pluck a pheasant, but the wet plucking method, way easier, so much cleaner, so much tidier than dry plucking, and this is said bird from that video. In part 2 I showed you the easier method of preparing your pheasant by skinning it if you've got lots to do, or you haven't got so much time, or you really can't be hassled with all the mess that goes into dry plucking, then that's the way for you. So in part 3 today I am going to show you a foolproof way of roasting a pheasant to perfection. So as you can see then, not a lot of ingredients. You don't need lots of ingredients. So many methods, so many old wives' tales, so many ways, you know, it's going to dry out, it's going to do this, it's going to do that. Put some bacon across its back, lubricate it, put something in the cavity. You don't need none of that. I am going to show you the best way to do this, and it is so simple. So first thing I'm going to do then is get some seasoning in the cavity. So I'm going to crank in some pepper, I have to excuse my hands, into the cavity, and a little bit of salt, and then some salt over the outside, the skin, and underneath. And you might see a few stray feathers there, but trust me, when this goes in the oven they will burn off, nothing to worry about. And as you can see, it's not the most perfect specimen, but that's the beauty of shot game. You know, this isn't bought in a plastic tray wrapped in cling film from a supermarket. This is proper wild, great British game, in season, at its peak, cannot be beaten. So there we are, we've got our bird seasoned. Next we are going to add a bit of colour and start the cooking process in the pan, man. What I've done first then is I have preheated my oven to gas mark 6. Check the conversion along there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add a spot of oil to the pan. Now I've had some heat under that, so once that starts warming through, I'm just going to gently take that heat out, and I'm going to add a generous knob of butter. Butter, very good for us. Some of us already knew it, but finally people have since sensed and realised that cooking with butter and lard is way better than some of these oils. So what I'm going to do then is just let that melt into there. Now the trick with this is we're going to start to cook the legs first. Obviously on any bird the legs take longer to cook, especially on a pheasant. That's foaming nicely. So what we're going to do then, I do mine in a wok style pan purely for the reason they sit nice in there. I'm just going to gently, as you can hear that frying, stand it up so its legs start to take on a bit of colour. Start that cooking process, not too high a heat, and we want to cook that 5 or 10 minutes. So like I said then, just take your time, 5 or 10 minutes. You can see the beautiful colour I've got on that, and we've obviously rested it on those legs there, and it's starting to gently cook those legs. So I flipped it over again, 10 minutes. Just get a good colour. It's looking fantastic and smells divine. Okay, so we got a great colour. Started that cooking process on the legs, as you can see there. Looking fantastic. And if you also look, we haven't hit the breast much. It's still lighter colour. The rest will be finished in that hot oven, gas mark 6, remember, for a minimum of 20 minutes. But first thing what I want to do is I want to get a couple of onions, split in half so we can prop this bird up. A great little trick. One that side, one that side, just to prop the bird up. Actually we don't need the two. There you go. Right, gas mark 6 in the oven to start with for 20 minutes. How easy is it so far? So after 20 minutes then, Fezzy starts to look a bit like that. Looks absolutely fantastic. So if you remember, we started the cooking process on those legs in the pan, then we shoved it in that hot oven, gas mark 6, for 20 minutes, And that is what it looks like so far. Now next is the resting process. You rest any kind of meat you cook, even a steak, even a gammon steak, joints and poultry. And the reason we do that is, if you can imagine, it's a muscle. When it hits the heat, it scrunches up. So when you take it out, and if you were to slice that, it would be tough. So what you need to do is just let it gently relax and all the juices go back into it. And that's the principle of resting. So what we need to do then is just tent that lightly, tent it with some foil. We don't want to be wrapping it tight, just laying a bit of foil over the top. And you want to rest that for about 20 minutes, but it smells and looks absolutely stunning. I can't wait to crack this bad boy open. Right, we'll come back in a moment or two. Sleep tight, sweet prince. Okay, the moment of truth. Let's crack open this beautiful, beautiful seasonal game. Those lovely juices in the pan. Oh, save them. Make a sauce with them. But we're here to check out how Mr. Fez is done. Get my knife and cut them off where we would trust. Now we're looking for it to be moist. Let's have a look at that. Oh yeah. Now legs, notoriously tough. Absolutely beautiful. Excuse me a minute, I'm going to go into a room on my own. And of course, everybody's favourite bit, the breast. Let me see if I can take a bit off. Should be beautiful, this. Fiddling about with that fork, let's get in there. Right, let's have a look. Oh, look at that. Oh yeah. How's that looking? Absolutely gorgeous. Oh, I'm sorry, I've got to dip a bit of bread into those cooking juices and have a bit of pheasant. It doesn't get more British than that, does it? Pheasant sandwich. I just want to show you that then. That's where the shot damage is, the blood damage. I mean, it doesn't taste of anything. It just doesn't look very good. So the dog. Now that bit. 6. Come on. But this. A drumstick. Or Henry VIII. Well, I hope you enjoyed that episode of the Scott Ree Project. Please give this a try next time you're on a shoot. If you're beating, shooting, picking up. Better than chicken. Better than chicken. God, leave it alone, Scott, for God's sake. Wow, how do I sum this up? One word. Fantastic. Next time you get a pheasant, give it a go. It's absolutely stunning. And if you've enjoyed this episode of the Scott Ree Project, please subscribe by clicking down there. I've got quite a big back catalogue of game, meat and fish. Also find me on social media at Facebook, Scott Ree or the Scott Ree Project. You'll see the icons down here somewhere. Also on Twitter at the Scott Ree Project. And join me next time. We're still in the infancy of game season. There's more to come. Please give this a go. Right, looks like the dogs had this already and that was just me. I'll see you again sometime. Oh man, I can't stop this. Well, my friends, I'm only human. We all make mistakes. I have just made a fundamental mistake. I've just realised I have eaten the finished dish before taking any photos for my social media. You know, I'm not a proud man. I can admit my mistakes, man. But hey, it was just too good. All the best.